man, thank God for that character bio, otherwise people would know I actually had to restart that stage. I mean, look at him fight the Metallo-Man! The Metallo-Man is totally not what he's ever called in the series. I don't know why I said that. But now I can make him disappear at the press of the B button. So now we have 20 seconds to press all 3 buttons. So we've already made the Kryptonite disappear, we've opened up another area that we can go to, and we've saved Lois. But if we stay here, in front of these computers while the timer's ticking down, we can find out what happens when the timer runs out. Everything blows up. Now, for some reason, it's not doing it anymore. But, Superman, why are you humping the sky? Superman, why are you humping the floor? Get up, that's wrong. There we go. He wasn't getting up for a second, I was getting concerned. Well, he was getting up, but that... back to the game. Hi, Lois. Get out of the way, I need to save Lois. Okay, so she obviously already moved, and there's health next to the Kryptonite box, which is only animated if you stand next to it, or at least the machine for it. I don't know why. You can't break it, and you can't laser it, freeze it, nothing. Well, you can freeze it, but that's a later thing. So let's go talk to Lois so we can activate the next part. She's okay after we flew into her at Mach 10. Thank God for that. I really think Lois is actually the superhero of this game. She seems to be able to take more punishment than Superman himself. So if we lure her out here, because, you know, Superman's a total dick, and he would probably do this in a real... Okay, so he wouldn't do this in a real situation. He'd be too concerned, but unless we're talking about super dickery Superman, then that's totally what he would do, and we would all love him for it. We have to wait for her to catch up. And I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna make her talk to me in midair. So that's totally what Superman does. Just flies in front of balconies. This is a super romantic thing here. This is Romeo and Juliet-esque here. Okay, so now she tells us the Lexoscale 5000s are activated and we need to figure out how to turn it off. And she's gonna go get captured again. Lois, what are you doing? Don't! You can't fly! Apparently she can. And that crunching sound is the Lexoscale 5000 appearing directly below me. That's convenient. So if you remember the dance button, if you remember our playthrough of the Game Boy Superman game in the last episode, you remember this is the only boss in that game. He's from the first episode of the series, or the first story arc, I guess this was a 3-parter. But he's actually kind of a pain in the ass to fight in this game, normally. In this stage, he's kind of a joke, because all you need to do is just punch him in the crotch, but he is actually going to do damage for me. So I have to properly punch him in the robot crotch, and a little bit in the face. These are supposed to be man things, by the way, so I don't know if there's actually someone in this, or if I am literally just punching a robot. We have to kill that, because otherwise we can't get to the final boss. The game's kind of sporadic in choosing how to do that or not. We go here to turn off this machine, and we see Lois has been kidnapped for the 3rd time this episode. She started the episode kidnapped. Then she got kidnapped right after we saved her. And then after we saved her again, she immediately got kidnapped and teleported halfway across the screen after flying through midair. We have to make sure all the Lexoscales are dead, too, so... Unfortunately, I need to fight this one as well. The idea behind this is that you're actually supposed to be throwing these guys at him. But considering they fall backward... What? Is that forklift humping that robot? I'm totally gonna get killed by that forklift falling on me, aren't I? Didn't land. God, where did that forklift go? Now I'm curious. Now I'm almost dead too, so as awesome as that was, now I'm kind of screwed. So I'm gonna have to go pick up health. Sorry. We're gonna go over here to where we got the key area 3. Super icon. I think this is a full heal. Pretty much. And now we have to go over here, because we opened the door to Area 4 by turning off the Lexoscale area. And I've somehow turned off a panel with my cape through, through a fence, or a screen window at least. We're supposed to go around the entire room here and then press that button, but you know what? Whatever, that's par for the course at this point. With this stage alone, I don't know why this stage in particular is so broken. It is the worst offender of all the stages in this game. It's so easily broken, and half the glitches that I've shown in this video, I didn't even know about, and I knew the stage was glitchy beforehand. That's just how ridiculous it is. Okay, so now that we've activated that screen with our cape, that laser field is gone. And now we have to go back to the block puzzle. But now there's 2 guards here instead of 1, you know. It's all special. So let's pick up Bazooka. We have to do all this again. Let's fast forward this just for your convenience. You've seen how to do this. Actually, no. Because I need to show off that these boxes are actually indestructible. Just because they're needed for this puzzle, they are indestructible. You can throw them against anything you want, and they won't blow up. Or at least they're not designed to. If you throw too many of them together in one corner, they start doing weird things, ignoring the fact that that thing is sticking through glass right now. They're going to start floating around, or coming back to me and fighting me, apparently. You can stack so many of these together. You start seeing... I don't know what it is with this stage and cumping. What is going on? So if you notice that box is now flying up there, and it should... No, it's not going to fall down. Whoa! Notice how I also have now destroyed a box, which means I'm kind of screwed for doing this puzzle. Also, Superman's getting a nice massage on his head, and he's become gun box again. Oh, bazooka gun box, even better. Let's just solve the puzzle while that box is somehow stuck in the wall. Thankfully for the fact that you can actually use Superman to do this, to solve the puzzle, you don't need to worry about losing one box, even though you shouldn't be doing something as stupid as what I do in the majority of these videos. If you ever play this game, you probably shouldn't play how I play. I tend to like breaking the game a lot, in case you haven't noticed that yet. So let's save Lois for the 3rd time. And let's save her from herself. Lois, I'm gonna trap you in this room. No, no, shoot. Okay, this icon, I gotta catch up to her fast. I can't let her leave here. Oh, never mind. I pushed her enough that she got stuck on the wall, and her pathing will never let her get out of this room. She's now officially stuck here, unless I push her out of the way. She will keep walking in place constantly and never stop. And she's too dumb, or programmed incorrectly, to realize that she's doing this. So now I can properly explain X-Ray. X-Ray only shows up in this stage, and it's pretty much useless. That's my explanation of X-Ray. Okay, one last feature that you should probably see, and this comes in handy later. You can freeze player or your NPC friends. So I've just frozen Lois Lane in a block of ice. That seems like the safest thing to do. But if you actually play the tutorial of this game, you find out that it actually is a good thing to do that because it saves your characters. They won't take damage while they're in that mode. And in the final stage, you actually need to do that. So you actually need to know that that happens. Now, the timer is going here, so I'm supposed to go back and save Lois from getting killed. But for some reason, it doesn't do anything. This timer does nothing. When it appears, you have an enemy randomly appear next to Lois and challenge her, just look like he's going to shoot him. Doesn't do it. Okay, now here's what's actually supposed to happen. What you're actually supposed to do is you're supposed to slowly escort Lois all the way to that warehouse from where you started. Metallo shows up there and you have to fight him with Lois in the room. Now notice that this is at 10 times speed. This took about 5 or 6 minutes, and I wasn't playing too slow. You can probably do this in about 3 minutes, maybe 4, if you constantly hug Lois or freeze her and push her constantly, but you need to clear the majority of the enemies to get to that room. And it's just this huge waste of time, And the worst part is, you go through all that effort, you finally get Lois there, and then she runs into the room where the boss is, and just gets her stupid ass shot. What the hell? Just the dumbest thing ever. Okay, now that we've come into this room, now that we have the X-ray vision, what we can do is we can see that these boxes actually have lead inside them. And we have to use that to fight Metallo because he has his kryptonite beam. So if you hit Metallo with this, if he'd stop making the box fall on my head, he'll fall down for a while, and then he will magically appear. That didn't work this time. What you're supposed to do, if you can hit him with it properly... That was not properly. That was the worst throw I've ever done. You're really going to do this in the take, aren't you? Picking up the box apparently does damage to Metallo too. That's a good thing to know. Pro tip for you speedrunners out there. So if you throw it properly, he starts flying. He flies away. Now we can just get into the proper fist fight. You've already seen this too. He's got his nice little shoulder tackle and his kryptonite beam. If you can, I'll try to do it in this one take, but I don't think it'll work. If you can charge into him when he's using his kryptonite beam, the kryptonite beam sprite actually stays on screen. But it's a little tricky to do because you have to outrun it and hit him with it, and the problem is he tends to be a lot faster than you are, so we'll see if we can catch this in a re-recording. Otherwise, that is actually how you're supposed to beat the stage. We got a heartbeat, and we're not going to do a little fake death out of it, even though we killed all the enemies. We've left Lois to die. We froze her in a block of ice and then left her with a bunch of enemies. She's going to die, but who cares? Stage is over. And that finally means that we can move on. And we've gotten past one of the two stages I was worried about. I don't know why I was so worried about that stage now. It went by so easily, especially after I found that trick. And I love the fact that using that trick, you can beat the stage in about 2 minutes. On my best timed run for doing the stage entirely proper, it took 7. That cuts off at least 5 minutes. You skip the majority of the stage. However, it ends up that's actually not the fastest way to go through the stage. You can actually do it faster. I ended up getting linked to a video while I was working on this episode that actually showed a shortcut. Now, if you do... The video they show, they go through a different shortcut. I find this one just easier to use in general. But if you fly to where Metallo is for the first fight, the first time you fight him, if you haven't done anything else in the stage, if you haven't freed Lois, killing him here actually ends the stage. I don't know why, maybe there's just an improper flag set in the game, so maybe because they think Lois is safe because we haven't set off any flags that doing this actually works. I don't know exactly, but it's just kind of cool that this works in general. So with this route, I think it takes about 30 seconds to beat this stage compared to the 2 minutes that I just showed. Alright, since we're here, we might as well show off some glitches as well too, such as Metallo's kryptonite laser, just staying in midair when he gets knocked down. It readjusts once he gets back up, which is actually pretty fast. On top of that, we have a bit of mirror world trickery. Now remember in stage 4, where if you went into the pool room, there was a mirror image of Superman? Same thing happens here because of the mirror there. Now this one's a little different because it's actually on level with you instead of being directly on your head or under your feet. The other thing is, it is literally a mirrored image. Notice how the S is backwards. So it's actually like Bizarro Superman, but not. If that makes any sense. So you can rotate around, you can see how the S's are different. And then you can also make them do a little funky dance. Now, because of the mirror area, they actually mirror the tunnels behind it as well to make it look like the hallway is actually a true mirror. You can see the fake Superman's now on the right side of the room. If you go down one hallway, it just goes black and just completely disappears. But if you go down the other hallway, you induce vomiting. I'm sorry if you have to clean anything up. Now, this one involves a little bit of trickery with where you place Lois. Now, if you stand on her in a specific spot, like I showed with the enemies earlier, you can actually make her go through the floor. But if you put her in a specific position, you can actually make her get stuck in between the walls. So she's standing on the pipe there, and you can see half her body, and she'll just, if you get near her, start walking towards you. If you aim correctly, you can also push her into the void. Alright, now these last two are extra special. These are the ones that were sent in by Reese Geekmon. They're really cool. if you shortcut to get to the room where Lois is kidnapped and you have to do the box puzzle, and then go back to where she was in the first room, you'll notice that she's still there. So there's actually a way to have 2 Lois lanes visible. But that's not the cool part. The cool part's what you can do with Metallo. Now go to the room where you have to fight Metallo the first time, where the shortcut lets you beat the stage early. Push him through the floor, and then eventually you're going to have to lead him all the way to the exit room, so you're actually going to need to save Lois and probably trap in the room. That's the easiest way to do it. You can actually have it so there are 2 Metallos in the room with you, both fighting you. It's actually really cool, but would probably be better served for a better game that controls a lot better. Depending on which one you kill, you'll either get the message about saving her from the Kryptonite room, or the stage will just flat out end. And you can actually make the 2 kind of fight each other. It's really awesome. Either way, that'll do it for Stage 6, and now I will see you guys next time for Stage 7, back to the 4th ride, so more space hula hoops. Fantastic.